everyone, it's Reagan and welcome to the start of another work week reading vlog. It's actually been kind of a minute since I filmed one of these reading vlogs during my work week, but I'm excited to be back. I'm excited to do a bunch of reading after work this week. I have been in, I don't want to say slumpy. I've read less than I anticipated so far this month, mostly because I've started rewatching Inuyasha, which has just been utterly life-affirming. I loved Inuyasha growing up, and it's just been so much fun to rewatch. So I'm definitely going to be doing that this week, but I feel like I'm like getting back into the gears of reading. So let's go ahead and talk about my TBR. So I have two books I want to finish and read this week. The first is The Dragon Republic by R.F. Kong. This is a book I was hoping to be a little bit further along before today, which is Monday, but I'm currently 55% of the way through. I'm on page like 330 of 630, so I've 300 pages of this left. I definitely feel like I'll be able to read it pretty quickly, given that this book is super fast-paced. I'll give kind of a more comprehensive overview of the current reality of this book and my thoughts, and then from there, because I feel like I need a true pick-me-up, I'm gonna read The House on the Cerulean Sea. Shout out to everyone who kindly pointed out how to pronounce that word that I was butchering over and over again. This is like a heartwarming fantasy book. It basically follows two men. One of the men runs an orphanage for magical children, and the other man comes, and I think he's like a social worker or something, and I think they fall in love, and then they help raise magical children. It sounds really charming. I've heard really good things about this. I essentially feel like this book is going to make me cry happy tears, and this book is going to just make me cry because it's a lot. So that's my general plans for the week. I really hope to finish this in the next couple of days so I can move on to this. I mean, it'd be wild, it'd be wild if I could finish both of these, but at least finish this and get a good way through this before the weekend is my goal. Talk a bit more about the Dragon Republic later this evening. I'm about to have some meetings, so I do have to pop off the old camera, but I just wanted to kind of give you guys an intro and show you my TBR for the next few days. So yeah, well, welcome to the vlog. I have some tomato soup for lunch. Half of it's frozen, that's why it looks like that. And Millie's here. Oop, do you want to make your debut, Matilda? Do you want to make your debut? There she is. Hey, Millie. Hey, Millie. Hi, friends. So it's a little after 6. I just finished up work. I need to run to the grocery store to pick up some stuff to make dinner and stuff to make lunch for the rest of the week, but I'm waiting for Clay to come with me, so while I'm waiting for him, I am going to do some reading of The Dragon Republic, which I will now go chat to you about, but just wanted to say, hey, my day's over. Time to get to reading and watching Inuyasha, which are my plans for the evening. Alright, so as I was saying, I'm gonna do some reading. I am just over 50% of the way done of The Dragon Republic. I have the book, but I've been reading the ebook, which I rented from my library. The Dragon Republic is book 2 to The Poppy War, which, if you guys aren't familiar for some reason, The Poppy War is a Chinese-inspired, grim, dark fantasy story inspired by the Song Dynasty, the Opium Wars, and the Sino-Japanese War. The first one is an absolute wild ride. We follow our main character, Rin. In the first half of the book, she's getting a military education at a very prestigious military school, which she tests into, but she's very much ostracized for being poor, for being a girl, and for having a darker complexion. We follow her in the second half of the book in war against the Federation, which is, historically speaking, I think supposed to be Japan and the Sino-Japanese War. And the second book, which where we are right now, I can tell you moves very, 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 very quickly and is dealing with all of the fallout from the first book, both from a military perspective in terms of where we are on the war front based off of the things that happened at the end of the first book. This will be very non-spoiler, don't worry. We're dealing with the emotional aftermath of the first book in terms of Rin, our main character, and so many other characters have gone through the gauntlet emotionally, physically, in that this book, being a grim dark fantasy, really explores the dark realities of war and does not shy away from that. The fear, the horror, the nonsensical violence. Witnessing and experiencing nonsensical violence creates this cycle of having kind of an excuse to do it yourself, and it kind of just like this never-ending cycle of terror that essentially comes from it. The second book is very, very interesting, as it's kind of accelerating a lot of the political consequences that we noticed in terms of the political instability of the empire that our main character Rin lives in. And there's also a lot of emotional complexity that comes along with it. Rin struggles, and this is a trigger warning, with a drug addiction that is present in the first book and is definitely continued into the second book. And it, like many other things in Rin's life, anger, she uses it as a shield to basically block out a lot of her thoughts and consequences and the reality of her decisions on herself. As a soldier, she's had to do so many things, and she would rather use drugs, her anger, to block out the consequences of her just choices. And you kind of see that cycle throughout this book. And in fact, it kind of becomes a new cycle because we see Rin become a soldier again. You see her shift her crutch that she had on drugs and on anger, and the first part of this book as about halfway through, and it shifts from that to falling back into being a soldier and taking orders. But it's all in the same vein of trying to remove responsibility from oneself. She doesn't want to have the power of choice because she doesn't want to deal with the consequences of that, because it will break her, essentially. So that is a very long overview of my first thoughts of this book so far. Pretty much a pretty significant non-spoiler review, but again, I'm already like well past the halfway point, so I wanted to give you context for my thoughts and feelings right now. I'm really liking it. I just feel like there's so much nuance, the character growths and arcs. Obviously a lot of trigger warnings because it is so dark and it's a grim dark fantasy, but it's just really interesting, and also the historical inputs within this book are just chef's kiss. But anyway, I'm gonna do a bit of reading. I'm sure I'll have more thoughts in a bit, but I wanted to give you kind of the lay of the land of my thoughts and feelings at the moment. I really need to go to the grocery store though, so that I'm also looking forward to. But yeah, all right, time to read. Grocery store haul. We're doing really good, and then Clay snuck Scooby-Doo gummies, which honestly I'm not mad about. And also we got pizza rolls because, for obvious reasons, they're incredible. But yeah, I got stuff for dinner and lunch for the week. It's like, grocery haul. Hello world, I'm about to make dinner. Clay is here. Clay's not working tonight. Well, he is, but got off a little early tonight. I have been reading The Dragon Republic since we got back from the grocery store. I've read another 2 chapters. I want to say I'm about like 380 right now, and I'm liking this book so much. I feel like that should be very clear. In a way, I think I am liking it more than the first one. I feel like it's more established in its storytelling, and I think it more has to do with the fact that we already know the world and a lot of the characters, so it can focus on kind of the plot. That being said, some elements of this book I've always really enjoyed, and just a component that was very present in the Poppy War and also present in the Dragon Republic, is the strategy component to military, as well as always being frank about the cost of decisions. I feel like, one, the strategy element is cool because you're seeing people having to problem solve and, you know, figure out solutions to terrible odds immediately, like having to pivot and think of solutions to problems as you go along. What Arv Kong always does is she makes you confront the reality of these decisions. There's costs on both sides of the equation, no matter which way you decide to go, and usually that cost is the death of civilians, and you have to confront that, and you have to understand that's part of the equation, and she makes our characters face that continuously, which I think is really dark but very powerful. This also has kind of an expansion of the military. We're kind of looking at it from different angles. And another element of this book I think is really interesting is there are characters that are represented to be from the West, and their presence in this book I think is really great. Particularly because the author writes about them from a non-Western POV, and honestly, they're very hypercritical of them. They're, you know, they're colonizers. They're really focused on spreading their religion to save a bunch of people from themselves. Self-centered, selfish, hyper-focused on themselves. All these things that we know from historical foreign policy pursuit of Europe and America makes sense. So seeing that as an influence and seeing those types of politics at play in this world on top of everything else going on, I just think is really interesting and intricate. I would just say in general, the historical backing to this fantasy world is just so well done, and it just roots it in such a reality, because like, yes, this is fantasy. Yeah, talking about shamans, there's magic and all sorts of things that isn't real, but there's so much about the political and military components of this that is real, that just provides this like rootedness to the whole thing. It's great. Anyway, I'm progressing now to the middle and end of this book, and I'm really liking it. I am gonna make dinner though, and I'm gonna put Inuyasha on, but I just wanted to give you guys a bit of a check-in for the Dragon Republic. Lots of Dragon Republic talk tonight. I think I have like 9 minutes of footage of me just rambling on about this book. All right, everyone, it's time for Inuyasha. I watched so much Inuyasha this past weekend, so much. Like, what episode am I on? Episode 20, no, episode, yeah, I almost watched an entire season of Inuyasha this past weekend. I'm on episode 27, The Lake of the Evil Water God. I switched between dub and sub depending on what I'm doing. I prefer the sub, but multitasking, dub is great. So I'm gonna put this on and start dinner. All right, so I'm doing an old favorite of mine, which is just some sauteed shrimp, orzo, zucchini, lemon, a little bit of pesto, but the main sauce builder is actually gonna be these tasty little tomatoes, like a burst tomato sauce. It's so good and so fast, and it will literally trick people into thinking that you have high quality cooking skills when you really have lazy quality cooking skills. But it's good, I promise. Step 1, cook shrimpy boys in some olive oil, garlic, salt, pepper, and red pepper flakes. Step 2 is cook the tomatoes until they burst, making a sauce, and then put the orzo on to be, you know, it should be all done in about 9 minutes, to be frank. Just been cooking down the zucchini with the tomatoes. I'm adding some garlic. I have some set aside pasta water to make it a little more liquidy if I need to, but I'm gonna add in the orzo and the shrimp back in. And this should be very good, I think. Bon appetit. And now I'm gonna switch from Inuyasha to Ghost in the Shell. So, you know, the anime continues. I'm dying. So, Clay got me a gift for hitting 300,000 subscribers, and it's probably the greatest thing I will cherish the rest of my life. He got me a cameo from TJ Lavin from the one and only The Challenge, which if you know anything about me, it's I love The Challenge. Him and Jeff Probst, only celebrities I would ever stop to get a picture with. Anyway, TJ Lavin congratulated me on hitting 300,000 subscribers, and I don't need a compliment for the rest of my life from anyone else. Even though TJ Lavin was paid to say it, I'm gonna take it. Anyway, thanks Clay. I just wanted to share it because I know there's a lot of Challenge fans out here too. And it was a great moment. I love TJ Lavin. So the obvious next step of the evening is to make ice cream sundaes, and then we're gonna go watch more Ghost in the Shell, and then I'm also gonna do more reading tonight. But gotta enjoy Clay's free time while we have it. Right, Clay? Woo! All right, done watching anime for the evening, and I'm gonna get back to reading the Dragon Republic. I'm going to read probably for like a good 30 or 40 minutes, and then I am going to sleep because it is Monday and I can't stay up too late. I unfortunately have a lot of meetings tomorrow. It's just one of those days that I foresee is going to be annoying, but at least I'm really liking my book, and Ghost in the Shell is so good, and we're almost finished, so otherwise everything is great. So I'm going to get to reading now. Hello world, I stayed up till 1 a.m. last night. I'm dressed literally like a potato. It's just one of those days, you know what I mean? It's just one of those days. I need to I'll do better tomorrow, but today this is as far as I'm getting. Just your daily dose of Matilda. Hey Millie. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to wake you up. You can go back to sleep. I know you were hard at work. Hi world, it's me from my kitchen doing a hair mask. I just wrapped up my work day, bit of a long day. I'm about to take a nice shower, doing a bit of a spa moment. Literally it's just me putting one of those little dissolvable lavender things in the shower and doing a face mask afterwards, but hey, it's the little things. In the meantime, whilst I was doing my hair mask, I prepped dinner, which I'm gonna show you. So essentially I'm marinating some chicken thighs with like a soy honey glaze marinade, and I'm gonna roast it with some carrots, and then I'm also gonna cook rice. This is one of my favorite meals. It's super fast and super easy. I'll try to remember to link the recipe down below. Hello Millie. Oh good, but yeah, I'm gonna let this marinate, all of that, and I'm gonna take a shower. Hello world. food is in the oven and I'm freshly laundered and I feel great. That shower did wonders. As to that face mask, all in all, big fan. I just wanted to quickly check in and chat through what I was able to actually read last night. So I got to page 450 of this last night, which I'm really pleased with. I ended up reading more than I thought I was going to yesterday, about 120 pages, which means I have about 200 pages left. My goal is to probably finish the Dragon Republic tomorrow, but I want to finish it tomorrow and also start The House of the Cerulean Sea, and then obviously read a chunk of that on Thursday. I'm actually really pleased with how much I've been able to read. I obviously laud it to this book because I'm really engaged within this story. It's interesting, to say the least. And I don't know, I'm really liking it quite a bit. I would say maybe my only criticism is that while some of the emotional aspects of the last book have been explored and like Rin's battle with it has definitely been present, I almost wish in the beginning of the book it was a little bit longer before we shifted gears to another part. I understand the choice, but I did wish that was a little bit longer. But honestly, that's such like a minor note. I still am really liking this book quite a bit. And in other ways too, I feel like the characters are a lot more dimensional. We're seeing more relationships kind of explored from the last book, which I really like. And similarly with all of her characters, I really appreciate that everyone is very flawed. She's not really presenting anyone as the cut and dry hero. Like, everyone is flawed. Everyone has broken POVs in some capacities, or, you know, issues. She's not putting anyone on a pedestal. It is like, here's your chosen one hero, fall in love with them. Not quite. She gives you very dynamic but broken characters who are trying their best to survive and do what they feel like is right, but usually that comes at the cost of other people. And they're not perfect. I mean, it's a grimdark fantasy, so that's kind of part of it too, which I just think is really interesting, and I feel like I can appreciate, given I read a lot of fantasy and there's a lot of chosen ones whom I love, but this is definitely a breath of fresh air. While dinner cooks, I'm going to watch Inuyasha because I've been dying to watch it all day. I love it. So that's the plan, Stan. That's what I'm doing. So I'm gonna do it now. And dinner is ready. Should be good. All right, I've retreated to the bedroom to watch Inuyasha with Matilda. I have my nooks, I'm gonna read. I also got some chocolate. I don't know why I said it like that, but I have a primary goal that I'm going to do while watching Inuyasha. That is, I got inspired to get some fall decorations. I love to decorate for the holidays, and obviously not leaving my apartment anytime soon, so I figured it might be something fun to get like a few little things to decorate for the fall season. You know, I don't really know what that means yet. I'm gonna do some research, go on Target. Maybe that just means fairy lights. I have no idea. Maybe it means putting a shelf up above this TV. Oh, that would be cute. See, ideas are coming in my head. So I'm going to mull that over and, you know, do some online shopping. Watching Inuyasha. I need to take my laundry off my bed, but I've been hard at work finding fall items, and I've settled on this. Well, not settled, I'm very excited about this fluffy pumpkin pillow that I ordered from Pottery Barn. Bit of a splurge, but I'm excited. Best $31 I've spent in a while. And then I've decided I'm gonna put a floating shelf over my couch, but hard to find a floating shelf nowadays. But anyway, or I should say an L bracket shelf. But I got this. I'm pretty jazzed. Alrighty, I'm done shopping for the fall apartment of my dreams. And I'm actually going to do some reading now. The bit of criticism I gave earlier, I feel like I might rescind. So I just want to caveat that now. I feel like I might have given that a little too soon, because I've read some more and I already feel like I want to take it back. Another thing about this book I'm really liking, I guess before I jump in, is it contrasts the first book in a way, in that the first book has two very distinct parts versus this book has a much more kind of linear progression. Both of them I like, so it's not like that's better than the first book, but it's just different. But like from a storytelling perspective, I'm enjoying the progression of the plot itself. So that's that. Time to read. I'm gonna try to read 70 to 90 pages before I go to sleep. It's a little later than I anticipated because I started, you know, fall decor shopping, but such is life. But anyway, I'm gonna read. Morning everyone. I wanted to show you that I got properly dressed today. I'm wearing like a work blouse with shorts. This is just work from home uniform, am I right? But anyway, time to get to work. Stayed up too late again last night, but I got past page 500, folks. Yeah. One of those days where I just want a peanut butter and jelly for lunch. I'm done with work today, and I ran a quick after work errand to pick up some fall things. I've officially acquired, I think, everything aside from like live pumpkins that I want for fall. I bought a wreath last night, I bought that pumpkin pillow, I got these little things. I think I'm gonna get some fairy lights, and then I do still want to get a shelf for above my TV, just for like general decor, but I can put, you know, things on there. But yeah, so I ran to Michael's. Success. Oh, I got this little milk jar to put them in. It'll be cute. I think I'm just gonna put them out in the meantime because it's just like not pompous grass. I don't know how to say it, but I'm sure the grass is not pompous. Anyway, so I'm gonna figure out dinner now. I'm gonna get settled. My plans for tonight are to finish the Dragon Republic, which I only have 100 pages left, and then also watch Big Brother tonight with my friend Emily. Virtually, we try to like watch shows together and then we text each other at the same time. You know, social bonding from a distance. Very big distance because she lives in Texas. And anywhoosies, I am going to get my little grasses in a jar and find a home for them in the meantime. It's already fall in this household. But I'm about to sit on the couch with Matilda, who is clearly up to no good. What are you doing? I've already changed into pajamas. I'm wearing tie-dye. So I also spontaneously decided to actually order pickup for dinner tonight. Clay and I ordered ramen from our favorite ramen spot, my favorite restaurant in the neighborhood. But I realized when I looked at the time that I didn't really have time to cook and be able to watch Big Brother live with Emily. So I was like, you know what? Treat myself. Maybe I'll, you know, have a glass of wine, eat some takeout, watch some Big Brother, and then I'm going to finish the Dragon Republic, which, as I already mentioned in a clip, I have 100 pages of this book left. It's so good. And I'm definitely in the end game of the book, and similar feelings of the last book were near the end. I have no idea how this is going to resolve, and I think it's because I can't anticipate the characters in a good way, because sometimes they do what you want, and like they do but then sometimes they do things that you don't want, which can be frustrating, but the author has built them in this way on purpose for obvious reasons, because people are flawed, problematic beings, and sometimes can't get out of their own headspace. And sometimes, you know, people who are the hero don't particularly, you know, want to be the hero, or were equipped with all the skills and like the selflessness and everything that comes along with being that. So you get a flawed human being trying the best they can, and that is definitely what a lot of the characters in this book are. But you still really root for them, and you root for them to make it out of the other side, because it just seems so dark and hopeless. And similarly, it's like so hard because it's just like rock hard place, like nothing seems like the right answer, nothing seems good at all, and it can be so hard. Like I could just see them kind of falling in this abyss because it just seems like impossible. I just don't know, but it makes for a great story. The plot is propelling itself. It's so well crafted. R.F. Kong has done such an amazing job continuing this story and maintaining the stakes, especially coming out of the last one. I had really no idea how she would be able to really go anywhere. Not anywhere, but I was just like curious, and she definitely superseded my expectations. And I actually think in a lot of ways this book is stronger because I just feel like there's a lot more inward character monologues happening and perspective. There's not just like endless and boundless growth, but there's growth in that people are at least confronting and realizing at least the origins of their responses. which I can appreciate and respect. Rin as a main character will make you want to simultaneously scream, give her a hug, but you still are rooting for her, which I just really like. So anyway, I have 100 pages of this book left. I'm definitely gonna finish it tonight. Then I'm gonna start The House on the Cerulean Sea, which I feel like will be a nice, light palate cleanser after the emotional turmoil that was the Assassin's Quest and now the emotional turmoil of the Dragon Republic. Whew, I just need a little bit of happiness, and then I'm going to start more fantasy books. But anyway, I'm gonna pick up my ramen. I'm gonna watch some Inuyasha while I wait to watch BB. And I'm just gonna sit here on the couch with Millie, who's right here. Killing it with the camera angles this evening. But yeah, I just thought I'd give you a check-in. Feeling blessed. Roni. Clay's got the wine. About to watch Big Brother. It is going down. And by going down, I mean this is it. It's Wednesday. All right, BB has been watched. Really good episode, really good season so far. But now it's time for me to finish the Dragon Republic. And I have The House on the Cerulean Sea right here to start after I read the last 100 pages of this. I'm not gonna check in until I finish because that is how focused I'm gonna try to be. I have my headphones for my classical music. It's going down. Isn't that right, Matilda? I finished the Dragon Republic. I really think RF Kong is trying to destroy me. I just don't even know how to proceed. I even had just like this much hope. I had this much. The smallest amount. It was smoldering in the back of my mind. I was like, but maybe what? Nope. Wow, that was good though. Oh my god. This is such... I can't talk right now. I finished it, which means I've read over 300 pages, right? Yeah, guys, it was so good. Oh man. Oh my gosh. Okay, I wanted to start another book tonight, but I feel like I need to let that simmer for just even a minute, and I'll start another book tomorrow. I'm gonna watch some Inuyasha and just try to get it together. Get it together. Good morning, world. I put a dress on, which I'm pretty jazzed about. It's a rainy day today, so I thought, hey, let's, you know, wear a cute dress. I don't know where that's going. Also, I wanted to show off. Clay always does this thing where he surrounds Matilda with all of her toys, and it just makes me cackle because she'll sleep on them all day. She generally brings her toys everywhere she goes, so I think she enjoys it, but there's Millie with all of her co-workers. I am making a turkey club for lunch, so time to assemble. I made bacon for Clay and I, but yeah, should be tasty. I haven't had a turkey sandwich like this in a while. Hello friends, happy Thursday evening. I am wearing the exact same lounge clothes I wore yesterday, so please do not judge me so harshly. But it is just past 7, and it's been a rainy day here in New York all day, which has been so nice. Clay and I went on a walk and we bought a plant. So, you know, we're trying to replace all of our fake plants with real plants. We're graduating up in society and we're taking care of alive things now, which we're very pleased with. So now we have 2, snake plant and this guy, which I already forgot what his name is. But regardless, we're excited to have this little man in the house. You know, we're gonna try not to kill him. He needs to be watered every 7 to 10 days. That being said, I wanted to quickly chat about my plans for the evening, which are the same. Basically, I finished the Dragon Republic last night, which I think I had a reaction of. I'm pretty sure it was just me being mind blown. I loved that book. I thought it scaled really nicely. I really just enjoyed the series. R of Kong is just really excellent. I mean, I really also want to make sure I'm saying like all the trigger warnings within the series. It is gray morality, it's a grim dark fantasy, it has a lot of violence, it has a lot of trigger warnings, it has complex and oftentimes unlikable characters. They're very flawed, but it's also just a story of humanity and decisions, and I just really liked the second one. I'm really excited to see the third one. I don't know, the whole series is just wild. And again, I also feel like she turns the anti-hero thing on its head, because sometimes I feel like people hear anti-hero and they still expect them to be the one kind of in control. And I feel like in this series, Rin is fighting for her own control and also her desire to not want to be in control. Like, that is a battle that Rin is facing throughout both of these books. Like, she's trying to control her own destiny, but because of so many different elements, from her position in society, or her class, due to her gender, due to her appearance, she doesn't have those pieces of control that she wants. Her only element that she has is her strength and her power, but she also doesn't like to deal with the consequences of the use of that power, but she doesn't want to let it go because that is the only thing that she feels society will value, and so that's the only thing that she values. So she's like this anti-hero that's just so complex. So yes, sometimes you want to scream at her, but in my opinion, she is such a character to understand. And I don't know, I feel like Rin is just one of the more interesting fantasy main characters I've encountered in a long time, and I just think this series is so great. That being said, I have transitioned to another book, and I started The House on the Cerulean Sea, and I read 50 pages at lunch today, and this is such a turn of events from the last two books I've read. The last two books I've read have just been so dark, so this is a hilarious contrast almost. But I've read 50 pages of this book, and honestly, it's delightful so far. I'm already a huge fan. I'm already super into the story. It's written in such a charming way too that fits kind of the bizarreness of it, which I love. I love quirky tales. I love sort of like this fantasy mixed with reality. It almost feels like a, and it's sort of reading like a movie in my head. Like, it feels like a very visual experience, which I like. But so far we follow our main character, Linus, who works for kind of a department that oversees, like, he's a social worker, and he specifically oversees the care of magical children. So he goes into different orphanages and he just ensures that everything is running smoothly, all the children are taken care of, and the system is smooth. He has been in the same position for a very long time. He's a kind-hearted man, but he's also very by the book, and he also doesn't really have very many connections. He has a cat. He kind of has these moments of like quiet loneliness where he doesn't really want to acknowledge that he's lonely, but he also realizes that he just feels his place in the world is that he is destined to be alone, which is just, you really want to just like give him a hug on the first page. He's an incredibly likable character. It's in this world too where there's all these like magical beings, like there's just magic. People have magic. And at the beginning of the book, he's called up to the 4th floor, and this sort of hilarious picture of bureaucracy is set up in this book. It's amazing. But he's called up to the 4th floor to the extreme higher ups, and he's given this very special assignment where he has to go to this island, visit this magical orphanage, because the caretaker there is not giving very in-depth reports of the children, and the government likes to keep track of the children. So he's gonna go off there, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna fall in love, and he's gonna fall in love with the children, fall in love with the man, and he's just gonna have, I think we're just about to have the happiest existence story that's just gonna warm my heart, and I cannot wait because I already love Linus so much, and I want him to seek and receive happiness because he's just a flippin' sugar cookie, and I love it. But yeah, writing style charming, characters charming, world very, the pacing is quick too. I don't know, it's very visual. I don't know how to describe it, but I'm really enjoying how it's stylized, and I think it comes through very effectively. So yeah, I've read 50 pages of this so far. I'm trying to read like 100 more pages tonight. I'll have read over then 500 pages for the past 4 days. This is such a long clip, oh my god. But I'm going to wrap up some things. I'm gonna make some dinner, watch Big Brother, and read. Right, Matilda? Yeah. All right, it's time to make dinner, Matilda. I got Inuyasha on, Shishomaru's here. Time to get to work. All right, so tonight called for a pasta bake and pasta break with zucchini and onions, vegetarian. I got a meal delivery this week. Sorry, Inuyasha's loud. And this just looked really good, and I can't wait to eat it. Isn't that right, Millie? And watch Big Brother. Yeah. Browned the zucchini and added the onion, and I'm cooking the delicious pasta. Added the sauce, and I'm letting it simmer, and I'm about to drain and add this pasta, and then I'm going to put it in the oven. Some mozzarella, some breadcrumbs, gonna be delicious. And now it goes in the oven. Easy, delicious, cannot wait to have. Not gonna lie, I am very, very pleased with this situation that is going on right now. I'm making myself an ice cream sundae. Clay and I are gonna watch one episode of Ghost in the Shell, and then I'm gonna read. Anime consumption is over. I'm now gonna get back to this book, which, as I already described, super charming right off the bat. I love magical children, and I love Linus. Okay, I'm gonna read. Hi friends, so I've officially passed the 100-page mark of The House on the Cerulean Sea, and I've already texted 3 people and recommended this book to them. This just feels, I mean, I'm only a fourth of the way through, but one, it's exactly what I wanted it to be. I had really high expectations going in, but just everyone loves this book, and you can just immediately know why. You read it, and one, you have this sort of like heart-warming main character, but he lives so by the book, and he's really taken advantage of in his job, but he still tries to do his best, but he's not really like looking deeper into the things around him. He is alone, but he's also trying his best, and he does his job, and he hasn't really had the opportunity to really like live his life. He's really just been focused on work. And now he's on this island, and there are these children, and he's still trying to live by the book, but I can just like see how these children, he's going to fall in love with these children, and he's gonna want to protect them, and realize that like establishment rules aren't necessarily like the approach one must take. And I feel like he's gonna take on the establishment and the bureaucracy and protect these children, and I'm here for it. And it's also just like, again, charming and witty. It kind of, in my head, plays like a Wes Anderson movie. It just feels this sort of like colorfulness and speed. Like there's a lot of quick dialogue in a really enjoyable fashion. It just feels very vibrant. Like it feels like a very pulsing and alive tale, and it just really sucks you in right away, and it's lovable so far. So I mean, I read a quick 100 pages so far. I'm gonna keep reading. My goal is to get to probably like 150 tonight. I'll probably read a bit more in the morning and at lunch tomorrow, and then I'll finish it at the weekend. It's about 400 pages, so. But yeah, it is just like charming. I think a word for this book is truly, it's charming as all get out. It just immediately draws you in, and you are just like greeted with all sorts of characters that you immediately just want to protect and cheer for, and you just want everyone to be happy. And it just feels like the kind of book to read right now. It's putting a smile on my face, and I feel like it's gonna put a lot of smiles on a lot of people's faces. So anyway, I'm gonna get back to the book. Guys, this book is so cute. I literally think I might cry all the time. There's just so many scenes of like just my heart has grown 4 sizes like the Grinch. I don't know, guys, like every time they talk and the love they have for each other and their dreams and the support that Arthur, their main caretaker, has, and the love, and Linus just needs to like become a part of that love, and it's a lot. It's just so sweet. And if anything happens to anyone, I don't think I'm gonna be able to take it. Like, there's just all these, there's one character that just wants to be a bellhop, and he's just practicing being a bellhop all the time, and it's adorable. like why am I crying about a little magical boy who just wants to be a bellhop, but he lives in a world where people won't let him just live his dreams because he's different, but he's still trying his hardest anyway, and it's just like, Anyway, apparently I'm just gonna be crying all vlog. Happy Friday, everyone. Rainbow mug felt fitting, and then I'm dressed, you know, in another overall, it's really hot, another overall situation. So stayed up late last night, as you saw, reading The House on the Cerulean Sea. So adorable so far. I think I cried on video last night, but anyway. I've worked today. I'm gonna try to read a bit at lunch. I'll keep you updated, and then I will wrap everything up I read soon. Because we're basically at the end of the vlog. Hi friends, sorry if I'm covered in hot Cheeto dust. I ate a bunch of hot Cheetos, but you know, one can only help so much. I also changed my shirt, or actually my whole outfit, because I was too stressed about wearing white all day. So here I am. But anyway, I wanted to wrap up this vlog for the weekend. Not the weekend, for the week, because I'm about to go into the weekend and I'm actually going to be vlogging directly after this. So I want to end this and then start another one. But I'm going to first talk about the house on the Cerulean Sea, because I was able to get to page 170 between last night and lunch today. And guys, I can 1,000,000% see why this book is so hyped, because it is simply one of the most charming, lovely stories that will make your heart glow. I have cried not once, not twice, but on 3 separate occasions while reading this book, and every single moment it's just because it's just this lovely scene of, I don't know, like pure love and innocence. And part of it is because you don't want anything or anyone to sully that pure adoration and hope that so many of these children have in the story. But you also know what the world is like, which I think is why it's so beautiful and also so sadly tragic, because as an adult I'm reading this and all I want to do is to protect and to love these children like Arthur and Lioness are. And it's just so beautiful. And also Arthur and Lioness, I love seeing Linus grow and like surprise himself. I think it's because he's always been capable and he's always been kind. I just don't think he's ever really let himself or have been around people that want to celebrate that for like aspect of himself. So like he's growing and learning, and Arthur, I don't know, it's just everyone. It is so lovely and just such a delightful book. I'm loving it a lot. So I read to page 170. I'm gonna read more this evening, but at the point of this vlog, that's where I'm at. I obviously read the last 320 pages of the Dragon Republic throughout the week as well, and obviously I went on and on about that book in this vlog, but also loved that. So far, I'm kind of killing it from a reading perspective this month, namely that I've loved everything I've read so far, each book in its own way, which is just such a great feeling. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this work week vlog. There was a lot of Inuyasha, sitting on this couch and reading books, like that's truly what my life is. But yeah, I will see you guys soon with another video soon. Bye.